Friends, Everything Mayor, episode 17. I am Tom Butwin, your host of your favorite John Mayer fan podcast. That's right. That's what this is. I'm declaring it as so. So this week, we are going to talk about a couple things. Three things before we get to the now famous After Dinner Mint. And if you don't know what that is, make sure you listen to the whole show to find out, which is the best way to support the show, by the way. Listen to the whole thing, put it on the background, do something else, and enjoy the discussion. Or if you want to go a step further, think about joining the show and gather up some perks and extra content there. But let's talk about a couple things this week. First off, we're going to talk the John Mayer, Zach Bryan, I won't say a duet, but Mayer sat in with Zach Bryan's band. So we're going to watch that guitar battle that happens during his song Revival. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on in Vegas other than Mayer playing with Dead & Company, because that's what he's doing there. But he's also doing some other things, which are kind of cool. And I have a question for all of you John Mayer fans out there that we'll talk about in that portion. And then the third portion, we're going to talk a little bit of controversy. Is it controversy? I guess maybe controversy is a little bit too strong of a word, but maybe some displeasure from you, the John Mayer fan community. Not with me. I mean, how could you? You would never be upset with me, of course. You are upset with John himself. But I mean, and by upset, I mean just a running theme that I noticed in last week's episode's comments. So if you haven't watched the show from last week, go back and watch it, then check out the comment section and come back here. Or in whatever order you want to do that in, and we'll talk about some of the things that I noticed from you all. So let's kick it off, though, with the John Mayer and Zach Bryan guitar bonanza that happened in Los Angeles on June 4th. So if you are a guitar player, would you want to be facing off with John Mayer? No, forgive me because I don't know this guy's name, the other guitar player in Zach Bryan's band, but he's on home turf, home field advantage. He's playing a song that he plays often, probably in a section where he normally solos. Again, not a competition here, but I mean, certainly, Mayer's coming in from the outside. If there's a person for the job, it's John Mayer, though, as we know. So let's just see what happens. I'm going to let it play down all the way through. And then we'll probably come back and I'll stop it and talk. But here's the guitar battle. Thanks to John Mayer France, the YouTube channel, for posting this footage. Is this your footage? I'm not sure. It looks like it's great seats, by the way. Whoever's here. I mean, this is like a photographer's row kind of thing. But let's listen and we'll come back and talk about the guitar battle on Revival with John Mayer and Zach Bryan. What is going on there? Wow. Okay, so, one thing I will say, I am not very familiar with Zach Bryan's music. Didn't expect his voice to sound like that, though. Is that what his voice normally sounds like, so gravelly? I'm going to have to go and dig into his catalog a little bit and just out of curiosity to see what he sounds like. But so what do you think of that? I mean, guitar battles are, they can be really cool. I think they work great in context of a fun rock show or country rock show like this. In reality, are they my favorite thing in the world? No, they're kind of like drum solos. They could be cool, but I can also do without them, to be honest. But so this is cool, though. I mean, you're immediately aware of how different these two guitar players are. And again, I apologize. I don't know the gentleman's name. Wearing shorts on stage is an interesting choice. That's all I'm going to say. Playing wise, he's great, but the shorts on stage, hey, it fits the vibe. You know what? Maybe it fits the vibe. And that's what Mayer talked a little bit about, the Zach Bryan vibe of just like a bar raucous honky tonk kind of thing that they brought into an arena, which is really cool when you can transport people in a room that's not, it's a basketball arena or whatever this place is, to make it feel like a kind of a honky tonk in Nashville or something like that. So very cool. Sounds like the fans are great. Obviously he's doing something right, Zach Bryan. But let's break this down for a second. You're going to hear, even if you're not a guitar player, you can just hear the different approaches. And part of me is like, first of all, there's no way I would be, no one should be bringing me out to battle either one of these guys on the guitar. But if I had more ability on the guitar to do such things, it would still be very intimidating to do. Very intimidating. So here's the first guy. It's not Mayer. Here comes Mayer. Nice. Love that entrance. Nice little lick at the end there. Interesting. Little tap bend. We love that. Gibson SG with the shorts. So admittedly, guitar battles aren't exactly, like I said, my favorite thing in the world, but still really cool to see Mayer doing a guest spot. It's always fun, always enjoy it, and hope he does it more. Actually, Dave Matthews Band, that would be great. Can we get another Dave Matthews Band, John Mayer collaboration? Hoping for that. We'll see. We'll see if my wishes are granted. All right, so topic number 2 today, we have talked about the fact that John Mayer is in Vegas playing with Dead & Company at the Sphere, but he's doing other things. And this week in Vegas, he launched and opened the SiriusXM, is that what it's called? Yeah, SiriusXM. I think they combined at this point. SiriusXM Studio for a live broadcast on his channel, Life with John Mayer, which is super cool because it's like one of those Today Show type studios where you can see in from the outside, and hilariously they opened the curtains up, and it was a funny little reveal or whatever. But the really cool thing about this is that not only could you see Mayer, but he hung out a little bit outside of the studio and talked to some unsuspecting, I would expect, fans who were walking by, which is really cool. I have never met John Mayer. Have you met John Mayer, first of all? And if you have, I'd love to know about it in the comments. But the second thing I'd like to know about in the comments is, if you haven't, and even if you have and you get a chance to meet him again, what would you talk to him about? What would you ask him? Now, obviously, it depends on the circumstances. Now, I'm thinking like, hey, you're trapped in an elevator for 5 to 10 minutes while the fire department's getting you out, and he has no choice but to talk to you. Not like a meeting or a signing out a line of autographs or something like that. But what would you ask him? Now, I've been pondering over this question for quite some time, because I don't expect to ever meet him, but in the off chance that I do, I want to be prepared. And I think if I wanted to get really deep and philosophical with him, I would ask him what it's been like to fulfill dreams. And what I don't mean just like, oh my gosh, you're this incredible songwriter and guitar player and have made just a great living doing it and become an icon. I'm saying things like when he played with Double Trouble. Double Trouble is Stevie Ray Vaughan's band, his rhythm section. Tommy Shannon and Chris Layton. So he loved Stevie Ray Vaughan, idolized Stevie Ray. At some point, he becomes successful, and then after becoming successful, he finds himself literally standing with those guys on stage playing one of Stevie Ray's songs. You became your hero as close as you possibly could. What was that moment like? That's what I would ask him. Or if there's another moment, maybe that, what does that feel like? I mean, does someone who is as confident and as good as what he does, like Mayer, have imposter syndrome, like most of us do? Or was he just like, I meant to be here. This is great. I knew this would happen all along. I'd be curious to know about that. That's deep. If it was less time, coffee. Because I'm not going to go down the watches road because I don't know enough about. I mean, I know a little bit about watches, but I don't have the ability to carry on a conversation with him like some people do regarding watches. But I could do it with coffee, and we could talk about high noon espresso. Would I go guitars? No, I would not go guitars because that's just, I don't know, it's just too obvious, I don't know. I'm not sure. I would hope that I would have the ability to be natural and just, what I mentioned this show. Oh, there we go. That's the angle, right? Like, hey, I do a podcast about you. Would you be on it? Maybe that's the question. But anyway, if you happen to run into him, what is your question? What is your topic? What are you going to do? Are you going to just freeze and say nothing? Or will you be prepared with something? I'm curious to know. What would you ask him? What have you asked him if you have met him? Let me know in the comments below. That leads us to our third section of the show here, where I talked about some controversy, some displeasure from the fans. And that's something like I said, I noticed in the comments of last week's episode. So make sure you go check that episode out after this one. But a recurring theme in those comments has been, why are you doing so much with Dead & Company? We want a new solo record and a new solo tour. I don't mean solo tour like the last one with the acoustic setup. I mean like, John Mayer proper, his music. And there are a lot of you who feel that way. And a lot of you who feel that way who are not fans of Dead & Company. So it's almost like this is of course exaggerating what we're talking about here because we're just talking about music. But there's some maybe jealousy, like stop paying so much attention to Dead & Company. Pay attention to us over here waiting for you to put out your next album. I agree with the desire for a new record. But as I've alluded to before and talked about before, it's good for an artist to do different things. And I think that's what he's doing. He doesn't have the pressure from a record company to do anything at the moment. He's making a record, as we know, he's told us. But I mean, he's exploring Dead & Company. He is working on this Life with John Mayer radio channel thing, and it seems to me just from the outside, like it seems like it's a very joyful time to be working on those things. I will say, just from a musician's perspective, I get it with the Dead music. His playing pre-Dead versus post-Dead & Company is, go listen to a live solo, 2010-ish versus now. I mean, we have a lot to thank Jerry Garcia and Bob Weir and the rest of the guys and their music for, because it's taken someone who was already a guitar playing icon in John Mayer and made him just an absolute monster on the guitar. I didn't think it could get any better from the 2007, 8, 9, 10 era. But he has like more than doubled his capacity for musicality and phrasing and cool ideas and speed and just variety, not being locked into that Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan type thing, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. People love that. I love that. But he's just gone so much further with guitar playing and songwriting. Thanks to Dead & Company. So I am not upset that he is dedicating so much time to this band. I've seen them twice. I'm not a huge Deadhead, but I enjoyed those shows. I mean, man, you get to go, I don't know, 80% of the songs, I don't know what I'm listening to. All I know is that Mayer's playing guitar a lot on these songs, which is really cool. And then he sings occasionally, which is even cooler. And then you get to learn about, the rest of the guys in the band and what they do. I remember hearing China Doll and O'Teal sang that. I was floored. Oh my God, what a voice, what a song. Super cool. No idea what it was before I went to see Dead & Company a couple years ago. So it's been fun in that regard, but I get it. I understand. You want something new from Mayer. I get it. I was just surprised that so many people felt as strongly as they did about that, because I appreciate whenever anybody makes a comment on a video. That's a lot of effort. That's not a small thing that someone took the time, first of all, to watch the video, second of all, to care enough to make a comment. And some of you make comments that are very long and well thought out, so that's awesome. I appreciate that as just someone's hosting a show, but that tells me that people feel very strongly about this. And they really want new music from John Mayer. So, how angry are you? Do you get angry about those things? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never been that voracious of a fan, where I'm actually upset or angry, but I'm not saying that you guys are either. But I've certainly wanted people to do things, but I can't think of the last time I made a comment on someone's video to alluding to something like that. So thank you for that. But also I wanted to bring it up because it's like, wow, I mean, people really, really care about this. They want it. So do I. But how upset are you on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm at like a 2. So that brings us to the after dinner mint, which is a perfect time for me to finish my coffee here. Because if you're wondering, the after dinner mint is the portion of the show that I assume only the hardcore people have gotten to, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for doing that. So today, I'd like to address a couple things in the after dinner mint. So you well know, I'm sure if you've watched this far, you know that I appear other places on the internet. I have my own channel under Tom Butwin, and then I also appear on Premier Guitar quite often and their YouTube channel. So if you're a guitar player, check out either one of those channels, my own or Premier Guitars channel. We do a lot of really cool things on both of those channels. But I am approaching a milestone on my main channel, and that milestone is 20,000 subscribers, which is huge. It's not huge compared to many channels. Still incredibly small, and I'm learning so much still and still growing with what I want to do over there. But it's coming close. We are like 500-ish subscribers away. So I'm going to do a giveaway. And it's not going to be for just my channel, the main channel. We're going to include you guys as well. And I haven't told anybody on that other channel. They don't know. They don't know yet. But it's going to be very simple. I have an email list. It's linked in my videos on the other channel. I'll start linking it here once it gets closer. But the only thing you're going to have to do to enter the giveaway is to be signed up for that email list. It's not a spam list. I only send out like one email a month. It's no big deal. And it's basically just keeping you updated on what I do with Premier Guitar, what I do here on Everything Mayor, and what I do on my own channel. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. This is what we're going to be giving away. At least the main things we're going to be giving away. Thanks to a wonderfully generous subscriber, I have the following to give away. I'm going to tease the best. The best one I'll save for the second slot. The first one, a guitar amp, a Boss Katana Generation 2 Mark II guitar amp. So if you know what a Boss Katana amp is, you know it's a very capable, super cool digital guitar amp, recording interface, the whole 9 yards. It's really, really awesome. Great practice amp, even great gigging amp. So whether you're a guitar player or not, someone in your life may need that. So, or may find it useful, or maybe you will. So that's the first thing. Now, the big granddaddy of all is a Paul Reed Smith Silver Sky SE John Mayer model. Yes, we are giving one away. More to follow on that. So stay tuned. If you so choose to, it doesn't matter when you sign up on the email list. You just have to be signed up to the email list. You don't even have to be subscribed to this channel or the other's channel. You don't have to. It's free to enter. Free for everybody. But that's what's coming. So after dinner mint people, this is what you get for listening this far. Lord knows what I will spill on the live streams once we start doing those. So if you're a member, I'm going to do a little post about when the first live stream is. I will alert everyone here. So if you want to join, you haven't joined yet to hang out in that live stream, you can do so before we do it. And then they'll be monthly after that. So that's the big news. We're going to do a giveaway, and there will be other things too. Working some other things out for smaller prizes. So, I mean, multiple people are going to win. That is my hope. I did one at 10,000, which was a lot of fun. And the prizes were, they were small things, hats, picks, strings, that sort of thing. These are big because 20,000 is big, and I'm very excited about it. So make sure you check out my other channel and the newsletter for that. Let's see what else. Still teasing the Alex Meyer episode, Super Danger Studios. That's coming up very soon. And I mean, as we talked about, I would love a new album from John Mayer, if for no other reason as that it would make this show better. It would make the show better. So speaking of making it better, what do you want on this show? Now, I will tell you, I will give much more consideration to those of you who are members because that's part of being a member is being able to suggest actual show topics and things like that. But, maybe I'll narrow it down. Who do you want to see on this show? Because we got Alex coming up. Keep it real, though. I mean, don't tell me you want to see John Mayer on the show. Obviously, of course, it would be great to have the guest of honor on the show, but that's not going to happen. So let's keep it realistic. But I'm always open to hearing about who you're interested in hearing about Talk John Mayer with me on the show. So that's it for this week. Hope you have a good one. What else? I mean, that's pretty much it. The after dinner mint has been completed. We've completed the meal. We've grabbed the mint on the way out. We've paid the bill. We've left a generous tip because the service was incredible. And we will be back for another episode of Everything Mayer next week, hopefully. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in a short 7 days.